All right, we're about to take a journey into the mind of a true creative legend, Eddie Van Halen. But this isn't going to be your typical biography. Our source material is, well, it's a little different. It's an imaginative encounter, a way to get to the very heart of his spirit. So, let's jump right in. Our story kicks off with a warning from a parrot, of all things. Heads up, high voltage! I mean, you couldn't ask for a better opening line, right? It just perfectly sets the stage for the kind of electric energy we're about to tap into. So we're not starting on a massive concert stage or in a recording studio. No, we're starting here, in a sort of conceptual space, a room between worlds, where a kind of ritual is about to happen. This really frames the whole thing, not as a history lesson, but as a genuine attempt to understand a creative philosophy. And what's really cool is the object used to make this connection. It's not some mythical artifact. It's something super simple, super personal, a worn-out guitar pick. And the way it's described as a jagged little lightning bolt, I mean, that's just a perfect symbol for Eddie's raw, electrifying talent, isn't it? It's the key to this whole conversation. The ritual itself, it's laid out like a 4-step incantation, almost like a spell. It feels really deliberate, like a process of tuning out all the noise of the world to focus on one single creative truth. It shows us the real intention here, to get past the legend and connect with the core ideas. And the result is, well, it's anything but quiet. His arrival is pure Van Halen. The mirror doesn't just shimmer, it erupts in those iconic red, white, and black stripes from his Frankenstrat guitar. And you can just hear that classic dive-bombing whammy bar sound. It's a party, not a seance. Okay, so the connection is made, and we immediately get to our first huge insight. And you know what? It's not some mystical secret to being a genius. It's something way more down to earth. It's a lesson from a guy who basically saw himself as a tinkerer. So this is the big question, right? It gets right to the heart of it all. Was his guitar playing so revolutionary because he was some kind of master technician who knew all the rules and decided to break them? Or was it something more spontaneous, more joyful? Was he just playing? And his answer is just, it's brilliant. It totally reframes how we think about innovation. He says he wasn't trying to deconstruct the rules because he didn't even know them all. He was just a guy in his garage, a tinkerer, trying to find a sound that wasn't there yet. He called himself a mechanic of noise. And that gives us this really powerful concept, the mechanic's mindset. It's this idea that true creativity isn't always about being a master. A lot of the time, it's just about being curious, about playing around, and having that relentless urge to, well, to fix something, or in his case, to build a sound that just doesn't exist yet. It's a universal lesson, really. So that mindset explains the how of his innovation. But now we get to the why. You know, what was the emotional goal? And it all comes down to his legendary brown sound and what that was really all about. What a description, huh? He doesn't talk about his famous cone using technical jargon. He describes it as a feeling, that moment of pure, raw energy when an amp is pushed to its absolute limit, right on the verge of chaos, a heartbeat. He wasn't just trying to create a sound. He was trying to capture and transmit this primal, living energy. This visual here really helps clarify it. On one side, you have the gear, all the technical stuff he loved to mess with. But on the other side, that's the real goal. The feeling, the physical vibration, that shared, hey, check this out moment. The gear was just the tool he used to deliver that feeling to all of us. So that begs the question, how do you protect that joy? How do you hold on to that raw feeling when you're dealing with fame and the music business and just life? That was a massive challenge, but Eddie's philosophy on it was just incredibly simple and powerful. And here are his key takeaways. It's like he built a fortress around his creative heart. The business stuff, that's for the suits. When he was playing, nothing else existed. He said the moment you stop being a fan of what you're doing, it's over. And his ultimate test was simple. Would his brother Alex, his first bandmate, his first inspiration, think it was cool? That's the only opinion that really mattered. And just as we're hitting on this idea of joy, wouldn't you know it, the parrot chimes in with probably the most famous 2 words in the entire Van Halen universe. It's the perfect, high-energy pivot to the final and maybe most important lesson. And there it is, the payoff. Jump isn't just a catchy line in a song, it's a whole philosophy. It's about taking risks. He flat out says that jumping means you have to be willing to fail.
If you aren't falling down every once in a while, you just aren't pushing hard enough. You aren't playing hard enough.
As this whole encounter in our source material starts to wrap up, we're left with one final, distilled piece of wisdom. It's the thing that really brings his entire approach to his art, and maybe to life, all together. And this is it. For a guy who was famous for his mind-bending speed, his final message is about something totally different. It's about substance. It's about heart. It doesn't matter how technically skilled you are. What matters is how much of your soul, how much of yourself you can pour into a single moment, a single note. That's the real legacy. So as we wrap this up, the final thought here is really for you. Inspired by this mechanic of noise, this joyful fan, this fearless innovator, the question he leaves us with is, what problem are you going to tinker with? What leaf are you going to take? What lightning will you try to catch today?